be intimidated by what you see. All right?
No,
but look at
don't bring the peanut butter.
Look at what else you're doing.
Peanut butter and fellatio. That's this episode.
A lot of people believe if we're having a conversation, it's got to be black people have it and white people have it. But look, we're not forcing the whole kumbaya. It's we talk about something that matters to us. This is pain.
Yeah.
Pain.
Yeah.
And we're all talking about it from different perspectives, but we're all sitting here saying, yeah, that's a pain.
Yeah.
That's a pain. This is not a forced, let's have a Benetton Nation panel.
You don't want to do We Are the World?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Voices that
because
care.
as men, we don't look at it that way. If you think of the story of Othello wasn't a black man who was there because they wanted to meet a social quota. He was good at what he did. And that's what men do. Men have men around them that are good at what they do. And they've changed the dynamic, and that's why they've weakened men. Because now we got to have a bunch of men around us that don't deserve to be at the table.
No, that's all right. Yeah. And when they and it's funny because you got a bunch of men on the outskirts who think they can sit at the table, but then when they don't get a place at the table, fresh and fraud and the fraud father.
Exactly. And I like what you're saying too, because like I've always been of the opinion that I don't care if you're black or white or Latino or Asian or Indian. I would very much like to reach out to those guys too, right? I don't care. Are you a man? Do you have the same, like, why is it that I can easily call, the sisterhood uber alles, right? That's easy because women always have each other's backs, whether it's religious
regardless
or
race,
ethnicity, political stripe, career, you name it. There is always the sisterhood above everything else. And so when guys like say, well, that's only a Western problem. That's only guys in the West. That's only only white guys are, that only affects them, or it only affects these guys over in this country or whatever. Like, no, you're a guy, you're a man. And it's all of this stuff that we're talking about. The reason why this show even exists is because, again, the global sexual marketplace also applies to the manosphere as well.
Right.
And so they say, well, it's not going to happen in my culture because X, Y, and Z.
No.
Or I'll talk to Coach Kareem, who's like a Muslim guy who's a red pill Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to him. I'm like, you know what? It's not happening in your culture yet. Give it a generation.
Yep.
Give it time, man. Because if you don't address it now, you won't be able to address it later.
How do you convince men to do that? To view it
it's
past
tough.
where they currently are to where they're going to be?
Because we compete
That's
with
the
each
$1 million
other.
question.
We don't cooperate with each other.
There it is, man.
That's true, but I think this is
There's no solidarity. We have no solidarity, and we have to some way find out how to do that.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who are about
solidarity.
division.
We had no solidarity. This red pill alternative thinking type of thing's been going on for about 2 decades now.
Yeah.
And you have now first generation of young men growing up that didn't know a world outside of the internet. So when we were all growing up, I think we're all largely Gen X.
Yeah.
Mom said, Donahue said that you
Donahue,
or Sally,
wow.
Jesse, Raphael.
We're dating ourselves, sir.
Sally,
Yes.
Jesse,
Anyways,
Raphael.
Anyway, but when these kids, what's the one thing that's uniting all these guys? Why is pretty much every guy here?
Yeah.
Pussy.
Yes.
That's why they're
Starts
here.
there.
And
Starts there.
this is, I guarantee you, if we go through all the people who read your books, all the people who read my books, clientele, people tune into your show, we go into the audience here, I almost guarantee you, except for the fact we're in the United States, if we could be, if there was one language spoke throughout the globe, we would have almost damn well near equal representation of everybody in every different country. Because every guy is interested in pussy.
Yes.
And whereas...
The universal language. You need to write a book called Pussy.
think I'd write
I just
Pussy?
gave you a
Universal
title.
language.
I just gave you a title. Pussy. The universal language.
I like
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. That's what I was going to do. Yeah.
Jump on that quick. It'll be trademarked
Trying to
tomorrow.
tell you, somebody's trademarking it right now.
Thank you.
And really am I an optimist because you guys know me, but this is one positive thing I see. These kids are not confused anymore.
Nope.
Now they may tragically conclude, well, I'm just going to become a neat and stay at home and play video games.
Yeah, right.
Right. But they ain't confused like when you were, like, say, a 13-year-old boy and whatever, Sally was at the playground and she was giving you the eye, like, I think I like Sally. And then you walk up to Sally, hey, Sally, you want to go, whatever, to the movies back when we did that thing. And like, ha, no. And you're like, they don't have, like, what happened? Oh, it must be you. Something's wrong with you. Now you go on the internet, we have explained everything to every young man at pretty much any puberty and beyond age.
Yeah, right.
That they at least will not be confused.
But are we creating confidence or confusion? Because a lot of times when you show somebody how big the mountain is, they won't climb it because they see how big it is. So that's what I mean by we're a niche group right now, but we can be bigger.
We could be bigger, but just like we talked about earlier, there are so many men in our ranks who seek to divide and destroy. We are our own worst enemy. Dude, I'll never forget this. I said this on a panel we used to do together. I remember when our biggest detractors were feminists. Like, it was always feminists coming after us. Guys, the people who hate on us the most are men. Women don't have to attack us anymore. And you want to know something? I actually blame YT to keep it safe for YouTube, because YouTube incentivizes channels that attack men. You attack women, you talk about women, you get canceled. But if you attack men, YouTube pushes you up in the algorithm. So men, being the logical creatures that we are, on the outskirts, oh, okay. So if you talk shit about other men, you pretty much get to keep your channel no matter what you say.
You have to
truth. There you go. And so men who seek to divide and destroy, they're not really about men. They're really about themselves.
I'm charging up my lasers here.
Oh boy, here we go.
I was going to say this on my show tomorrow, but I think right now is the perfect time to talk about this. So you were just talking about, do we instill confidence, right? Is this a net positive right now? And there are far too many fucking channels right now that are saying like, oh, you guys just create, like bitter men, or like the next, what is it?
School shooters.
Yeah, school shooters or whatever else like that.
Rogers.
And the thing is those are people who have an agenda because they're trying to promote their own brand of over anything else. And so the only way they can attack you is by saying, oh, well, you're actually creating the problem here. Fuck you. And I'm going to tell you why fuck you, because I just came into, like, I just started following this guy. He was a kid. I want to say he's a kid, but he's actually 26 years old. And I sent you guys the link to this guy. His name is Daryl Wayne Edwards Jr., I believe. And he was convicted of manslaughter charges back when he was like 16 or 17 years old. He is also featured in the Netflix documentary, They Call Us Monsters. I just started following his Instagram. He's in a medium security prison right now in California, CDCF right now. And the reason actually I followed him.
An Instagram?
He has an Instagram because it's medium security. So, yeah. So
are you kidding me?
So let me tell you how I.
They want to take my YouTube channel, but these motherfuckers in prison have Instagram.
But wait, hold on. Let me hear me out. Hear me out here, okay? Because this guy is a success story, okay? And he has done something with his life. He got his diploma. He's got he's really built himself up. I'm like following him from like over the course of years because it's all racked up in his histories. And I'm looking at this. And he reads my books. He actually tweeted out he did a story or something with my books on the bench with his like prisoner outfit right there. I'm like,
on the yard,
and I'm like, what's this all about? And so I got familiar with his story, and I'm listening to him do his stories and talk about that, and he's talking about he's literally like quoting parts of the Rational Mail in what he's talking about, and I was like, wow, this guy gets it. This guy really fucking gets it, and he's in there serving 10 years. He's also working on the fire lines when they have the California wildfires up there, which makes me like him that much more.
Yeah, sure.
If you know about me and wildfires, just saying that makes me right. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, man, that's the net positive. That's the confidence and that's something that none of these other hack job accounts that want to come at us ever are going to see. They're never going to see those success stories. They're never going to see the lives that were saved. They're only going to look at, oh, this sounds bitter and abusive and evil and vile. Yes. And it sounds like hate and bitterness and everything else. It's like, you don't see those stories that I see and that you guys see every day when they're coming and say, hey, man, you kept the noose off my fucking neck. Right. Man. You don't see those stories. That guy, Daryl Wayne Edwards, that all the hate in the world, it goes away when I see that success story. This guy who's going to be should be getting out pretty soon. I think I would love to. I would ride out there to shake his hand.
You ride out there, not me. You stand me up twice. But
I know I can always see you.
And like I said,
he's a success story.
Favorite white guy.
and he's got. I mean, he's built himself up. He's got his degree. I think he's got his certification in like fire science or something like that as well. And if you listen to this guy talk, I'm like, I'm not going to say I'm the sole influence, but I'm at least a part of that influence.
That's a success story,
to me. So when I see that, I don't. People say, "Oh, don't you want to go mainstream? Don't you want to make money? Don't you want to do that?" Like, that's not why I got into this.
No. Right.
Daryl Wayne Edwards is why I got into this. And when you go and throw rocks at me, you're throwing rocks at these guys. You're throwing rocks at the guys who I kept who actually not just me, but took the noose off their neck and took the gun out of their mouth because this is a net positive that you're never going to see because you're too competitive and you want to just boost your brand.
I want to say this real quick too, because this transitions perfectly into what I was going to talk about with the RP and the mainstream. Right? So when we went on Flagrant, they tried so hard to say that we were racist.
Yep.
Over some jokes. They try to say that we cater to incels, and they try to paint us in a certain
you're a
light.
Neanderthal. Didn't you remember that?
Sim to pimp, that's stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Corny fucker.
And what? Fast forward 3 weeks. Now Joe Rogan is going through his controversy with the N-word, right?
Yeah.
And the same guys that were attacking us for saying we don't dabble in the dark, ha ha ha, are defending Joe Rogan.
There you go.
And here's
there
the thing.
You go.
I don't have a problem with Joe Rogan. I actually love Joe Rogan, and I think he shouldn't have apologized because you never apologize to the woke mob.
Never apologize to the left.
Exactly. Never apologize to the left. So this isn't about Joe Rogan. It's about this. People have an issue with this type of content.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you talk about the uncomfortable realities between men and women, how men and women are different, etc., and you acknowledge these truths with biological fact, etc., what are they going to do? Well, they called us incels.
Yep.
They called us losers. You guys are immature. A lot of shaming language when we're on Flagrant. But this is how mainstream media views us. But what I told them when we're on the show, which conveniently wasn't highlighted, was we get messages and emails and DMs from guys every single day. You saved my life. You helped me get through a very dark time in my life. You helped me get through over this breakup, etc. And I'm sure all of you guys have received this
Of course,
stuff.
yeah.
But no one talks about that shit. What do they talk about? They take a clip where I'm going on a rant saying, hey, you need to fucking put yourself ahead of these bitches, blah, blah, blah. These guys are misogynists. You guys are toxic, blah, blah, blah. All this fucking fuck shit. And they don't allow, right? They don't put things in context.
Right.
Because they don't like us. But when it happens to Joe Rogan, hey, they took those clips out of context. These left social justice warriors are fuckheads. They're going to go ahead and protect him. But when we come in and we say, hey, listen, man, this is a bunch of fuck shit, whatever, they're going to clip it and make us look crazy.
There you go.
So the point is this, guys. Is the mainstream ready for the RP? I'm going to say no. Because we have basically went out there to Flagrant, shout out to our boy DJ Academics, whatever, put out the clips. And the thing is that a lot of guys agree with it, but then at the same time, a lot of guys are like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this.
Isn't there a us problem, though?
And then, was that?
Isn't that an us problem? Because like you said,
yeah,
those people who were against you guys supported him.
Right.
So we're acting like women because women go for the guy with the shiny stuff and the most followers and the most nice looking women around him. Isn't that what we're doing as men? We're acting very effeminate when we will ignore you, but the guy who has 1 million plus followers or several million followers, but we got to support him because I want you to look down at your shirt. And what are the colors on that?
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
So it's un-American that we're trying to shut down voices of dissension.
Yep. That's right. Yep. That's exactly right.
And that's what we need to start pushing to people. It's un-American. The whole idea of what we do here is supposed to be that's testing the American fiber.
Yeah, right.
We're saying, do you really believe in freedom of speech? Because when you really believe in freedom of speech, it's supposed to be you protect the speech you don't like.
That's right.
Not the speech
that's
you
right.
do.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I want to say this too. It's like, that's fantastic. So that just tells me that there's an agenda against this kind of content.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because we went on there and they belittled us and tried to make us look stupid and try to get us to apologize, whatever. But then someone else, hey, you know what? No, we're going to defend him, blah, blah, blah. When he said even worse things than we did.
Everyone wants to play that game. They want to get in, just dip their feet in the red pill just enough so they can get a little bit of that cloud, get a little bit of that juice, but they don't want to go all the way in because I wouldn't want to alienate
they want to
half
use us.
of my audience.
I want to say this too. Like one thing I learned about, touching the mainstream media with this type of content.
Yeah.
They want to use us to virtue signal to women.
Yep.
Because women are the biggest market share. They're the biggest consumers. They control 80% of the economy with their spending, etc. And, Aaron could tell you all about that. So all I'm saying is this. We're going to continue to make the content the way that we want. We don't care what these guys think.
Right.
It is what it is. No shade on Flagrant. But, hey, let's call a spade a spade. They brought us on there to try to ridicule us, make us look stupid. We stay professional. We're not going to get riled up. It is what it is.
I want to say one thing, though. And I studied marketing for 7 years behind the scenes. And I realized something, right? At some point, if you want to expand your brand and grow, you have to go through the fire.
That's right.
And people give us like, oh, you shouldn't have went on Flickr, you shouldn't have did this and that. You
got to play some road games,
You shouldn't
man.
have done these things because you're not ready for the battle, right? But I say this, right? There's men out there that saw that podcast, saw that interview.
Damn
said,
right.
you know what? Damn, I can relate to this. And guess what? They came over to our channel. They saw you guys.
Yep.
You. But they never would have seen us if we were never there.
Yeah,
That's
The
very
point is
true.
that, like, if you want to expand the brand, help guys out, I'm sorry to say, at some point, you gotta go into the fire.
Yeah, you got to go through enemy territory,
That might
man.
mean you take a few hits in the face.
You
or
might
in
even
the
take
gut.
an L.
But at the same time, some guys benefit from that and never saved.
That's right. And the way you articulated yourself on Flagrant too, and this is why you guys are where you are, because you have the requisite cool. What I could not stand about that podcast were Akash and Alex sitting there talking shit about you guys, calling you guys corny, only because there were 5 of them and 2 of you.
Thank you.
Dude, those 2 sons of bitches would never say that shit to you face to face in a room by themselves. Alex and Akash, fuck you guys with the sickest one. No, seriously, guys like that are the reason why, there's so many lost men, because they listen to, I'm not gonna say anything. They listen to dumb fucks like that. Dude, Akash has fucked one woman, if that. Alex was talking about, oh, you gotta love black women. You know what, fam? Have fucking fun with that. Do not follow men who seek to divide and destroy each other. Any man who seeks to divide a men's community and destroy one another cannot be trusted or followed. That includes Abba and Preach. Listen, I mean, I know you guys don't want to talk shit, but those guys are fucking cowards, man. Do not follow men who are fucking cowards, guys. Don't fucking do it. I don't give a shit.